In 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to journey into space. It was a moment of global triumph, proof that we could break free from our planet's grasp. But for all our focus on technology, engineering, and the thrill of discovery, space travel has another quieter cost, the toll it takes on the human mind. Because leaving Earth is only part of the story. Coming back can be even harder. In 2023, astronaut Frank Rubio returned to Earth after spending 371 days in orbit, the longest single spaceflight ever completed by an American. His mission, originally planned for 6 months, was expended unexpectedly due to a damaged return capsule. Nearly 4 months after returning, Rubio described his re-entry into everyday life not just physically, but emotionally. He says, "The first 2 or 3 months after your return is really focused on recovery. Just kind of reincorporating yourself into Earth, your family, and also rehabilitating your body. You adapt incredibly quickly to being in space, but unfortunately the readaptation process back to Earth can sometimes be a little bit longer and more difficult. Gravity affects everything, muscles, bones, the inner ear, but so does the sudden noise, unpredictability, and social complexity of Earth. Many astronauts report emotional numbness, sensory overload, and a difficulty connecting with others when they come back. Living in space isn't just physically demanding, it's mentally taxing in ways we're only beginning to understand. Astronauts experience isolation, they are physically separated from everyone they know and love, often for months at a time. Confinement. The habit is small, the crew is limited, and the privacy is almost non-existent. Sensory monotony. There is no weather, no smells of nature, no new scenery. The human brain thrives on variation, and in space, that's missing. Circadian disruption. The ISS orbits Earth every 90 minutes. That means 16 sunrises and sunsets per day. Over time, this disrupts sleep, affects moods, and impairs cognitive performance. Chronic stress and pressure. Astronauts are highly trained, but they are constantly aware that mistake can be fatal, for themselves or their crewmates. Psychological symptoms that can emerge include irritability and mood swings, difficult sleeping or staying alert, cognitive fatigue, slower thinking or forgetfulness, anxiety, depression, or emotional flatness. Upon returning to Earth, some astronauts have struggled with mortal strain, substance abuse, and difficulty reconnecting with family or friends. This sudden attention from media and public events only adds to the pressure, often overwhelming those who spent months in relative silence and routine. Now imagine this, a mission to Mars. The plan involves a 9-month journey to the red planet, 18 months on the surface, and 9 months to return. A total of nearly 3 years in space. There is no possibility of emergency evacuation, and real-time conversation with Earth becomes impossible. With communication delays of up to 22 minutes each way, astronauts would be further from home than anyone in history, exposed to deep space radiation, living inside sealed habits where one mistake could be catastrophic, and they'd be psychologically isolated knowing that Earth is too far away to help. The risks aren't just mechanical, they're mental. Sensory deprivation can lead to hallucinations or depression. Team conflict may grow in confined, high-stakes settings. Motivational fatigue may set in, especially after the initial excitement fades. Loneliness and existential isolation could emerge from the realization that they're entirely cut off from the rest of the world that they once knew. In this context, mental health is not a luxury, it's a mission-critical factor. To address these risks, NASA has developed Connect, a behavioral health strategy for long-duration missions. Each letter represents a core principle designed to protect astronauts' psychological well-being. Let's break it down. C for community. Astronauts need more than colleagues, they need connection. Building community in space helps replace the bonds lost during separations from family. NASA encourages group rituals, shared meals, and mutual support as daily practices. O for openness. In deep space, plans can change in an instant. Astronauts must be flexible, curious, and willing to accept feedback or unexpected outcomes. Psychological resilience requires emotional adaptability. N for networking. Even with communication delays, contact with loved ones is essential. Regular messages and videos and private communication windows help astronauts feel grounded and remembered. Second N for needs. Basic health is mental health. Nutrition, sleep, and daily exercise aren't optional, they are mandatory. Psychological defense, a tired, malnourished, or physically weak crew is far more valuable to emotional breakdown. E for expandatory mindset. This means maintaining the right habits, conflict resolution, accountability, cleanliness, patience, and teamwork. These aren't soft skills, they are survival skills on missions where there are no backup. C for countermeasures. Astronauts use meditation, journaling, creative expression, and psychological check-ins to manage stress. New technologies like virtual reality therapy may simulate calming environments like forests or oceans to soothe the overstimulated brain. T for training and preparation. Just as astronauts train their bodies, they also must train their minds. Role-play scenarios, simulations of interpersonal stress, and pre-flight psychological screenings are vital to build in trust and mental readiness. Mars will be one of the greatest achievements in human history, but the success of that mission won't depend on only the engines or algorithms. It will depend on how we understand ourselves. To survive the silence of space and the long road home, we must support not just the astronaut's body, but their heart, their mind, and their spirit. Because wherever we go in the universe, we take our humanity with us.